Alright, hello everyone, it's Nigel here, and welcome back to the Labyrinth. So, this, of course, is episode 15 of Nigel Dixie's Tales from the Labyrinth. So, first things first, I want to thank you all so much for 15 episodes. It's crazy to think that we're already 15 episodes in with the Tales from the Labyrinth and everything. So, if you're a new viewer, if this is your first time watching it, or even if you're returning, I just want to say thank you for everything, for the experience, the journey thus far. So, this is going to be our hour-long poetry reading, an hour of magic, if you will. And basically, what I'm going to be doing for the next hour or so is I'm going to be reading poetry. I got a bunch of poems here for you guys. Some new, some old, some from other people as well. So we got a lot of poetry to read. And I'm going to be reading, I'm going to be discussing my thoughts on each bit of poetry. It's going to be some poems that, like I said, are new and some that you may have heard before. But without further ado, let's get right into this. So this first one is called Hard Times, and this one's by me. Hey, I'll let you know. I'll let you know if the poem's by me or by someone else. If I don't say who it's by, then it's by me. So anyway, let's get into this. Sometimes it's difficult to stay happy, hard to stay positive. The vacuums of sadness and depression snuff it out almost hastily. It's hard to walk into the light when darkness won't let go. So, I'll be honest, this was kind of in response to everything that happened over the weekend, sadly. So, for those of you who don't know yet, on Saturday, there was a shooting at the Tops on Jefferson here in Buffalo. And 10 people in total lost their lives. But that has been heavy on my heart for days. And it's been heavy on a lot of people's hearts as well, that type of thing. And stuff like that is very hard to deal with, even though thankfully nobody I knew personally was involved in that shooting and everything. But just the shooting itself, the fact that people lost their lives, that family and friends lost loved ones, and that it turns out this was a racially motivated attack. All that is very tough to comprehend, very hard to deal with, and it's not something that can easily be mentally dealt with and everything. And I can't even begin to imagine that feeling of getting the call from the police or someone else saying one of your friends or loved ones was shot and killed while they were going grocery shopping. That, I think, is what really gets me. These people are just grocery shopping, just doing regular grocery shopping, and they were killed and everything in a racially motivated attack. And then more attacks were threatened yesterday. Thankfully, the police were able to get them and take care of them, nip them in the bud before anything like that happened. And then apparently there's been some other shootings since then. It's like, what is going on? What is happening? And it's absolutely insane. It's absolutely crazy, and it's absolutely terrible to hear about. It's terrible to read. It's terrible to experience. It's absolutely horrific and everything. So, those are hard times trying to stay positive and stay upbeat. Of course, I've been trying to keep myself in a good mood, trying to do, reviews and stuff, and going live and everything, which after this video is uploaded, I will be live on Twitch, streaming some more Spyro. But yeah, I've been trying to do that to keep upbeat, and of course I graduate this upcoming Saturday. But it's really hard to stay positive when this type of stuff is going on. It's definitely not easy. But this next poem is Flowers. Red roses, love, A rose by any other name would smell just as sweet. Daffodils, regard, for you, for others. Hibiscus, delicate beauty, the one that you see when you look in the mirror. Yellow jasmines, grace and elegance, like a kind word from a beautiful soul. Marjoram, joy and happiness, a feeling of elation for yourself and others around you. Rosemary, remembrance of the past and how you've learned from it. Yellow tulips, sunshine in your smile as you greet the day. So for this poem, which I wrote a little while ago, basically what I did was look up the meanings of different flowers. So, of course, the rose means love, which is why, of course, on Valentine's Day, you get roses and everything. Excuse me. Daffodils, that's regard. So, looking out for the safety of other people, being concerned for the safety of other people. There's hibiscus, which is a delicate beauty, which is very delicate. You gotta care for it quite a bit and everything. Then we got yellow jasmines, which resemble grace and elegance. So, very fancy, very elegant, very beautiful in that regard. So, marjoram, which is represents joy and happiness, and then rosemaries, which represent remembrance and everything. And then yellow tulips, which is supposed to be, about sunshine. And so, the meanings of these flowers, I think, are pretty interesting and pretty important. And the fact that they relate to so many things that we as people will see on almost a daily basis that really says a lot about flowers. It's a lot about not just flowers, but nature and everything. How you truly can find just about everything you need in nature. And for evidence of that, look no further than these flowers. But this next one is called Dream Girl. I see her in my dreams. I hear her voice. I see her gentle movements, swaying like a calm wind. I hear her voice, calming, warming, familiar, like a sweet melody, pleasing my ears. I feel her presence, even when she's not here. Her presence is in my head. Her home is in my heart. She is the girl of my dreams, and I never want to wake up. So, this is a romance poem of sorts, and it's about how this girl and everything. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys, on here at least, which girl this is. I'm sure some of you guys are detectives, are pretty smart. Alright, so you may or may not be able to figure it out, but I'm not going to say anything about it. But honestly, this is a poem that could apply for any girl. It's just, oftentimes, a girl you're interested in, you see the absolute best is in, like, everything she does. So, whether you're together or not, you'll see the absolute best when it comes to her. They say loving eyes can never see, but when you're in love, when you're like love struck, the girl can pretty much do no wrong. You will find any reason you can to try to stay in love with her, invested in her, and to the point where you're dreaming about her. She's constantly in your mind. She constantly runs through your mind and everything. But so dream girls like that, or guy, whichever, or your preference is, of course. But in this case, for me, it's girls, and this dream girl was constantly being in my mind to where you can't really think of too much else besides her. That is being in love sometimes, but that can also be a bit dangerous, because what if she doesn't feel the same way, or what if that relationship dynamic changes, and then you've invested so much into this person that it's like once that relationship is severed, where all that time that you invested in her pretty much goes south. It's like, what do I do now? I had all these like soul ties to her. I set up this I set up this connection between her and me, and now that's like gone. That's not a thing anymore. But yeah, so just be wary of that. But it's something that I'm sure most, if not all of us do. Ooh, I can't deny it. It's something that most, if not all of us do. But this next one is going to be called Do You Love Me? Do you love me? And I mean truly love me. Not a love I hear about or see in a magazine. Not a love that hates me and wishes my demise. Not a love based on lust, but on true care and tenderness. Do you love me, and not pretend that you do? Or do you love the idea of me, what I can provide physically? Is your love genuine, or have we wasted our time here? So, if you want, and this is kind of a gap I can bridge, but if you want, you can kind of relate to the poem we just read. And some people aren't truly in love with you. They say that some people aren't in love with you specifically, more so the idea of you, what you can provide, what you can do for them. And once that's like either taken away and off the table, or something where you can't really do that anymore, then it becomes a situation where they're no longer invested, they're no longer interested. And sometimes that's a situation that's somewhat valid, where I thought you'd be able to do this, turns out not, but then I want to continue this. But some people will still sadly try to string you along and continue to try to manipulate you. And I'm actually just going to add another poem to the list of poems I'm reading here. A couple more that I want to read as well for you guys while I'm here. But yeah, so sometimes, like I said, Ed, they love like the idea of you. They love that what you can do for them, but they're not in love with you per se, if that makes any sense. Where the stuff you can do for them, great, but otherwise not you as a person. They want and kind of this idea of you. I don't know. Does that make sense, or am I like all over the place? I'm just gonna tilt this down a little bit. Like, does that make sense? Am I all over the place? Am I not making sense? But that's also why at the end I put, or have we wasted our time here? Like, do you love me? Do you actually want me, like for me, or do you just want the idea of me? Have we wasted our time here? Is this relationship pointless and everything? But this next one is called Diamond Mine. I look out and see a multitude of people, diamonds shining bright. The pressure they've gone through makes them shine the brightest. So, here's kind of the basic idea of how diamonds are made. So, diamonds are put through pressure. They start off as coal. They're put through pressure and squeezed, compressed and everything until they become diamonds. And not all coal is like that. Sadly, I think charcoal, well, you're not going to get it from there. But yeah, so when you squeeze the coal to get the diamonds, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of stuff that the coal is going through in order for it to become the diamond. And for a lot of things, for it to go from one thing to another, or it's going to take a lot of process. It's like sand you can compress into glass, but it's a process. And same with the coal being turned into the diamond. I mean, it's a process that you got to go through in order to go from the coal into the nice, beautiful diamond. But you should also learn to appreciate that coal phase of your life when you start out as the coal looking to be molded into a diamond, to be compressed and squeezed into diamond and everything. It's great to be the diamond, of course, but don't forget your time as a coal, because that's where a lot of your learning will come from, if that makes sense. But this next one is called Deep Sea. In the depths of the ocean, vast and empty, yet full, complex in its uncertainty, as I venture into the unknown, brimming with life and creatures, yet dead silent from the shore. The only sounds are the waves as they crash onto the shore. So, the thing about the ocean, and the thing about the sea and everything, and most water, is that it's kind of a two-way dynamic from the surface level. If you just go into the beach and everything, and you got the shore and the water, you'll see just, of course, the sand and the shoreline and the water as it crashes, and while the sea is very big, that's just it from the surface level. But if you go under the water, under the sea, but when you go under the sea, you see a lot of stuff. You see sea creatures, there's algae, there's plant life, there's all kinds of marine life and everything, and of course there's people who study this type of stuff, marine biologists. So they study this type of stuff, of course, the plant life and the undersea life, and there's a lot of it brimming down there. So the fact that there's that complexity is pretty cool to me, and it's something that I feel like we kind of take for granted, because we kind of see things from like that shore or level and everything. Oh, here it is. I found it. The other poem that I wanted to read, so I'll just add it to the list. But yeah, so it's something I feel like we kind of take for granted sometimes. I'm just seeing things from the shore, not really delving deeper into what's beyond the shore. And sometimes that's not too bad of a thing, but yeah, it's not something you necessarily want to take for granted, because it's complex and it's very cool to see. But this next one's called Buffalo Soldier, and this one is also kind of about my feelings based on what happened over the weekend. So, the city of good neighbors, that's how people see us. A city passionate about a lot, with quite a bit to offer. In our midst, singers, dancers, poets, doctors, actors, comedians, a vast array of exceptional minds and big hearts, cheering our sports teams, giving to one another. Buffalo, a place I'm proud to call home. So, there's a lot of talent in Buffalo. If you haven't heard, or there's a lot of singers, a lot of musicians. A lot of my friends are singers and musicians and everything. And we got people from all different types of backgrounds, and Buffalo is so diverse. But when things like this happen, when turmoil like this happens, and we come together, and that's one of the reasons why we're called the city of good neighbors, because as we know, when they come together, our differences will be one thing, and they will be our differences, but the common ground that we stand on is what makes us united. And Buffalo, it's not perfect. There's some things that I and a lot of other people don't like about it, but it's still my home, it's still home for me. I'm proud to be from Buffalo and everything. But this next one is called Starry Night Sky. Do you remember the first time we met? The sky was filled with stars. Do you remember our first date? It rained that night. Do you remember when I met your parents? It was so cold that night. Do you remember when I proposed? It was so warm. Do you remember when we got married? The sky was a beautiful shade of velvet. Do you remember when we argued? It rained hard for the rest of the day. Do you remember when you became pregnant? The The sky was blue as could be. Do you remember when you gave birth? The sky was pink with a touch of orange. Do you remember when our child walked? The sky was red and orange. Do you remember when our child graduated? The sky was a bright blue. Do you remember when our grandchildren were born? The sky was dark blue. I remember the night you died. The sky was starry again. Another star was added to the sky. This one belongs to you. Alright, so first things first, I'll give a brief pause for the aww. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, brief pause over. So, this one is kind of talking about a couple. Well, and what we see here is the night changing, or night and day changing based off the color of the sky and everything, and seeing all these moments where the sky was different. It shows the passage of time, but it also shows that these moments are remembered. The narrator remembers these moments and everything, and the person remembers them by the sky and everything. And so whether it was raining, whether it was blue, whether it was like red and orange, aka like sunset, and he remembers all of this, and that I think makes for a pretty interesting story. And then of course we see the star sky. I sort of come back, and the star gets added, it meaning the other person. That's a common belief, is that the stars in the sky are symbolic of the people that we lost and everything, how they become stars in the sky. One of the things I think of is Princess and the Frog, when Ray dies, Ray the firefly dies. He becomes a star and he joins his deceased lover and everything. So, it's pretty good, pretty like romantic poem. It's brimming with a lot of emotion without telling that it has a lot of emotion. It's one of those things where it's kind of show, not tell, if that makes any sense. And man, now that I mentioned it, it has been a long time since I've seen The Princess and the Frog. Too long, in fact. I gotta watch that at some point, and of course I may review it. So if you guys want me to watch Princess and the Frog and review it, please let me know in the comments below. But this next one is called 50 Different Ways to Say I Love You. Number 1, every day with you is a blessing. Number 2, I adore you. Number 3, I appreciate you. Number 4, I can't live without you. Number 5, you're always on my mind. Number 6, I always think about you. Number 7, I care about you. Number 8, I'm sorry. Number 9, I'm thankful for you. Number 10, I brought food. One of my personal favorites. Number 11, I want to spend time with you. Number 12, tell me about your day. Number 13, I want to spend forever with you. Number 14, you are my sunshine. Number 15, you are my everything. Number 16, tell me what's wrong. Number 17, you're beautiful. Number 18, I'm so happy for you. Number 19, I'm proud of you. Number 20, I want to see the best from you. Number 21, you're awesome. Number 22, you're loved. Number 23, let's stay in and watch Netflix. Number 24, I'm committed to you. Number 25, never leave me. Number 26, I don't want to fight. Number 27, I apologize. Number 28, I brought you something. Number 29, Merry Christmas. Number 30, I've missed you. Number 31, have a great day. Number 32, you're my best friend. Number 33, you're my favorite. Number 34, marry me. Number 35, I do. Number 36, I brought pizza. Nice. Number 37, I thought of you. Number 38, I did the dishes. Number 39, I washed everything. Number 40, get some rest. Number 41, I want you to meet my family. Number 42, I want you. Number 43, I need you. Number 44, my life is so much better without you. Number 45, where are you? Number 46, I should say, never let me go. Number 47, I'll cherish you forever. Number 48, good night. Number 49, you are the best. And number 50, I love you. So, what we see in this one, it's less of a poem and more of a list, honestly, but all these different ways you can show your love and support for a person. And some of these are like romantic, some of these are like platonic, like friendship, love, and everything. Some of these are like support, some of these are like encouragement and everything. And there's different ways to show love, and love is such a versatile emotion. You can show it in a variety of different ways. And the song I kind of compare it to is What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong, where he sees the world in different ways, where he sees it in like flowers blooming and friends and saying like how do you do, and they actually mean I love you. So I kind of compare it to that, and we sort of see that same concept here, which is why it's so incredible. So this next one is called To the Class of 2022. It's me. I'm part of this. All right. To the graduating class of 2022, both high school and college, I am proud of all of you, and I am proud to be among you. We have done something incredible, something our parents or even grandparents may not have done. A moment they have dreamed of for ages. I apologize. Since we came out the wombs of our mothers and took our first steps, got on buses, spoke of our dreams and aspirations, working hard and often to get to this moment. It wasn't without hardships. We had good days. We had bad days. The nights we were excited as we progressed further to our goals. The nights we cried, wondering if we would ever make it. We take the good with the bad and hold our heads high, for we have made it. And as we walk across our stages, while family, friends, and even strangers cheer us on, we hold our heads high. We take large strides, joy bursting through us, as we receive our diplomas and degrees, as a reminder and a message that we have accomplished something tremendous, and it was all worth it. And to those graduating next year, or even several years down the line, if you need proof that you can do anything you set your mind to, look no further than us as we graduate. So, I am graduating from college on Saturday. Thank the Lord it is over. I actually have one more exam tomorrow night, but other than that, honestly, I'm probably going to pass that exam anyway. That's more of a formality, but thank God it's over. I'm going to graduate from school. I'm going to get my degree, get started in my career and everything. And it was a pretty hard road, pretty hard journey. And it was a lot. There was a lot that I went throughout my 4 years of college. But I'm glad to say that I was able to graduate and that I was able to do something incredible, accomplish something fantastic. And to the rest of the class of 2022, what you have accomplished graduating college, it is something tremendous. You worked hard to achieve this goal, and you achieved it. So, congratulations to you. I love and I'm so proud of all of you. Some of you have already graduated. Some of the ceremonies were a couple weeks ago, and a couple were even like this week. So if you graduated already, congratulations to you. And if you're graduating either on Saturday when I'm graduating or even afterwards, congratulations to you as well. And that goes for the high school graduates as well. And you know what? Even the ones moving up from middle school to high school, congratulations to all the graduates. You have earned it. You have achieved it. Be happy that you have achieved this wonderful, wonderful accolade. So, this next one is called Jukebox. Everyone has their own jukebox, filled with music. Some happy, some sad, some from different times, some modern. We sing and dance to it, all day and all night. We let others listen to our jukebox and hear the melodies of our hearts and minds. So, jukebox, aka like your inner thoughts and everything, and pretty much music and stuff like that. And although in this case the jukebox is representing like your emotions, your thoughts on stuff like that, and yeah, hey, you play your jukebox for others to listen to. That's conveying your thoughts and your ideals and opinions on stuff. You convey that stuff with others, and you listen to other people's jukeboxes. And when you hear each other's jukeboxes, you're happy to hear them. I know jukeboxes are kind of outdated, but the symbolism hopefully is still at least there. But this next one is called Poetry in Motion. Poetry is alive. It surrounds all of us. It lives and breathes in nature, in people, in animals. We see it all the time in rushing waters, in mighty mountains, in cool breezes. Words and thoughts and ideas conveyed in several ways. In art, because everything is art. Art imitates life? No, art is life. Perceptions, dreams, realities coexisting as we see a beautiful poem around us in the world. So, have I mentioned I like poetry? But, yeah, so we see poetry and everything in the things surrounding us. Poetry, of course, conveying thoughts and ideas and emotions and all that. And we see that in the world around us, in the trees and nature and people, all these things unfolding around us. And it truly is a beautiful sight. It's one of the reasons why I love nature and I love poetry, because it's so beautiful, and it reminds you that you are one person, but you're a part of an even bigger piece of art. So, yeah, pretty interesting and pretty cool to think about. But this next one is called Insomniac. I often stay awake late at night. Why? Various reasons. Thinking about anything and everything. Theorizing about stuff. Thoughts on so many things. Why am I still awake? Various thoughts cross my mind. Some stuff kinda but some other interesting stuff. How am I still awake? Thinking about people, my friends and family. The ones who are probably asleep. Wrestling, comic books, video games, history, science, tech, memes, YouTube. Go to sleep already, man. You don't know how many times I've said that to myself when I'm still awake at like 2, 3, 4 in the morning and just doing various stuff. I am a bit of a night owl. I've almost always been a night person where I stay up doing various kinds of things. I didn't really do that as much anymore because like college and stuff like that. But when I do stay up, I stay up pretty late just doing various stuff, watching YouTube videos, gaming, all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, I'm a bit of a night owl, and so sometimes I can't sleep. I just gotta do something, to pass the time until I actually do fall asleep. Especially when I'm excited, like if some exciting is happening the next day, it's difficult to sleep. Like, for example, if like I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be able to sleep that much the day before graduation, which is on Friday, or like back in the day before Christmas, it was hard to sleep because I was excited about the presents I was getting and everything. Or if tomorrow was like supposed to be a really fun, really cool day, where I'm doing something cool, I found it very difficult to sleep and everything. But such is how insomniacs go, people who can't really fall asleep like that. But this next one is called Lemonade. Life is like lemonade. You take things that are sour and things that are sweet, mix them together, and you have a creation you can share with the world. They say when life hands you lemons, you make lemonade. And for years, I have no idea what that means. And to be honest, I'm still not 100% sure what that means, but I think I have an idea of what it means. So that's kind of what I conveyed in this poem here, where you take things that are sour, aka the lemons, and like the bad stuff. You take things that are sweet, like the sugar, or even just the water that will balance out the lemon juice. You take those things, you mix them together, and you have a creation, the lemonade and everything, where it's excuse me, which is the combination of the sour and the sweet, the combination of the good and the bad, and you share it with the world because it's your lemonade that you've made. You take your bad with your good, you mix them together, and you share it with the world, if that makes sense. But this next one's called Sunshine. I love the sunlight as it ushers in a brand new day, the warm glow of the sun, followed by birds chirping, signaling a brand new day within the warmth of the sun. So when I was actually going through the vault for poems that I can read for you guys here on this episode, I realized I wrote quite a bit of poems about like the sun and everything, and like the sunshine, the day, how it greets the day and everything. But that's because I love the sunlight. When the sun comes in and you see it's shining on everything, it's a brand new day. You hear the birds chirping and everything, it's a brand new day that you get to experience and everything. So that's why sunlight for me is pretty important, and oftentimes they say it's good for you. It can help elevate moods and stuff, but yeah, so sunlight. I love that sunlight. But this next one is called Rain. Kind of a polar opposite to the sunlight we were just talking about. But rain falls from the sky, cooling the scorched earth and leaving puddles behind. It makes things gloomy outside, but the people don't seem to mind. Some stay indoors, read books, sleeping the storm away, using the rain to water the plants. Others are out and about, either with umbrellas as they attempt to go to their destinations, or some play in the puddles. Rain, rain, let the rain fall down. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people who love rain, and they love when it's raining and everything, so they can head out. They got their jackets and umbrellas and everything. Some people just like looking at the rain. Some people like feeling the rain. It can be like very cooling and everything, and cool stuff down, especially on like a hot day and rain comes. You're almost like happy to see the rain. Some people like to play in the puddles and everything. Some people, they stay inside, but they're like reading books. They go to sleep. You can sleep in a rainstorm, and for a lot of people, it's actually pretty comfortable to sleep in. There's even like 4 or 8 hour rain sound compilations on YouTube with just rain to help like people sleep and everything. Sadly, that I tried it a few times. It didn't really work out for me, but then again, that's just me. But yeah, a lot of people love the rain and like the thunderstorms and everything. So if you like the rain, I should say, I guess this poem is for you. But this next one is called Serenade. My heart has a song, and the song is trying to burst out, waiting for you to listen. Let the melody of the words and the harmony of my heart be a sweet sound to your ears, a lovely scent, and a pleasant sight to see. So this one is kind of similar to the Jukebox one that we were talking about, where you got a song in your heart that you want to share with others, and you want people to see this side of you, see this like best side of you, and love and appreciate you for it. So you share this stuff with them, this song that's in your heart and everything, and you serenade them with the song. Serenade when you sing stuff to people, but you serenade them with this song and everything. So this next one is called Hole in My Heart. There's a hole in my heart. It was left there when you walked out the door in my heart and took its love with you. So, sadly, some people are going to walk out of your life, and when certain people walk out of your life, it's going to leave a hole in your heart, a pretty big gaping hole well, that's hard to fill back up again because this person is no longer there. But uh, sometimes it's for the best. Sometimes they need to get out of there so you can fill your heart with good things and everything like that. And sometimes they were occupying that space. But sometimes when the wounds are still fresh and the people walk out, it's hard. You're gonna go through that heartbreak. Whenever you suffer a breakup, you got like that very tender, that very like heartbreaky type stage where you're driving around and everything you see reminds you of that person. Every restaurant you go to reminds you of that person. Everything, even the stuff they're playing on the radio, reminds you of that person. It's like me and so and so used to go there, or me and so and so used to listen to this. It's like it feels like they're doing it on purpose because they know you got a broken heart, so they try to remind you of it all the time. But yeah, so sometimes it's like that, But this one is called A Hymn to the Evening, and this one is actually by Phyllis Wheatley. Soon as the sun forsook the eastern main, the pealing thunder shook the heavenly plain. Majestic grandeur from the zephyr's wings exhales the incense of the blooming spring. Soft hurl the streams, the birds renew their notes, and through the air their mingled music floats. Through all the heavens what beauteous dyes are spread, but the west glories in the deepest red. So may our breasts with every virtue glow, the living temples of our God below, filled with the praise of him who gives the light, and draws the sable curtains of the night. Let placid slumbers soothe each weary mind, at morn to wake more heavenly, more refined. So shall the labors of the day begin, more pure, more guarded from the snares of sin. Night's leaden scepter seals my drowsy eyes, then cease my song till fair aurora rise. So, absolutely fantastic poem. So, how I interpreted this poem, and once again, this is Hymn to the Evening by Phyllis Wheatley. So, pretty much going from the previous night to the next morning and describing all what's going around in nature and everything, and how it feels all connected together from the night to the morning. So we see, of course, the birds and everything, and the creatures of the night, and then coming to the morning, and as she sleeps, waiting for that next morning. But that's kind of what I got from it. So this next one is Caged Bird, and this one is actually by Maya Angelou. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wing in the orange sun rays, and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams, his shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but long for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. So, what we have here is actually two states of mind, but they're represented in birds. So we have the free bird, the bird is free. He can fly around as much as he wants. He can go from wind to wind. He can fly pretty much anywhere and everywhere. But then we have this caged bird who's stuck in this cage, His wings are clipped. He's not. His feet are tied. He's not going anywhere. And he sings of freedom. He wants out of there, but he's trapped in this cage, so he can't go anywhere. And the reason I say it's perception and everything, because this is how a lot of us are. Some of us feel trapped, where we feel like we can't go anywhere. We want freedom. We want the freedom to go about and do stuff. But others of us do have that freedom, and we're able to go anywhere and do anything because we feel free. So we can make the world our oyster, as they say. But this next one is My People, and this one is by Langston Hughes. So, the night is beautiful, so the faces of my people. The stars are beautiful, so the eyes of my people. Beautiful also is the sun. Beautiful also are the souls of my people. So, obviously, when he's talking about his people, he's meaning, black people, African Americans. But he's saying the faces of his people are beautiful as, like, the nighttime sky. And the night sky often is pretty beautiful, especially with the stars and everything. And he also does say the stars are beautiful, just like the eyes of his people. Oh, and the sun is beautiful, just like the souls of his people. So sun, the moon, and the stars represent us as people, and we are beautiful just like the stars, the moon, and the sun, or sun, moon, stars, whichever order you feel more comfortable with. So this next one's by me, and this one is Coffee. Brown liquid fills my cup with a sweet aroma from delicious coffee beans, even though they're actually seeds. Hot, not quite scalding. Be careful of hot coffee. Remember the McDonald's lady? Creamer and sugar, stirring in like a magic potion to get me through the day. Those of you who know me know I absolutely love coffee. It's delicious, gets me energized, helps me start the day. It's great with breakfast, and absolutely love coffee. So we got coffee beans, even though it turns out they are actually seeds, which actually didn't find out until a couple years ago. But and of course hot coffee, or you can have iced coffee as well. And you gotta be careful with the hot coffee, because you may just end up winning a lawsuit like the McDonald's lady. So for those of you who don't know the story, there's a lady, and she got a very hot coffee, and she put it in her lap, and it spilled, and it gave her, I think, 3rd-degree burns, and she was very upset. She sued McDonald's and won, which is why McDonald's not only has cold coffee, as a lot of people complain, but also has a warning: caution, contents are hot. Of course, it's coffee, but then again, and the signs are on there for a reason. I saw this post, I think either on Twitter or on Reddit, pretty much saying signs are dumb until you realize that there are some people that the signs were specifically created for. Okay, yeah, but it's still kind of dumb. Like, why are you putting it in your lap? Why is it in your lap? Why is it not in the cup holder? They had cup holders back then, I think, right? Because I know this was a while ago, I think like in the 90s, but they had cup holders, right? There's somewhere else to put your coffee. You had to put it in your lap, and then it spilled and everything. You're the reason we got cold coffee, even though I usually make my coffee at home anyway. But yeah, so this next one is called Winter. The white flurry cloaking the sky, temperatures going down further and further, ice on the streets and in the road, Christmas music blaring through the streets, Salvation Army bells, caroling, warm food and warmer spirits, as it's winter time yet again. So, believe it or not, there are people who absolutely love the winter. They love everything about it. They love the snow, they love the holidays, they love Salvation Army bells and everything. They love going Christmas caroling, they love the ice, they love ice skating, they love ice fishing even. There's people who are genuinely in love with winter, and I guess more power to you. The snow does look pretty beautiful, but when it piles up and you gotta walk through it, and temperatures are in like the negatives sometimes, or very, very low, yeah, it is really, really not fun. And I feel like a lot of people who love winter, my theory is that a lot of these people who do indeed love winter, which if you do, not knock against you, but for a lot of people who love winter, it's probably because they stay indoors anyway. So they don't really have to trudge through the snow. It doesn't really bother them as much. But yeah, so this next one is paradoxes. Prepare for your brain to hurt a little bit. The sentence below is true. The sentence above is false. What happens when Pinocchio says, "My nose will grow"? Can a man drown in the fountain of eternal life? What happens when an irresistible force meets an immovable object? If you go back in time and kill your ancestor, you cease to exist, meaning you never existed to kill your ancestor. You think of someone because someone thought of you first. So what a paradox is two statements that can't really coexist at the same time. That's kind of like the layman terms. Let me see if I can get the official Google definition of a paradox. Alright. A seemingly absurd or self-contradictory statement or proposition that when investigated or explained may prove to be well-founded or true. Or a statement or proposition that, despite sound or apparent sound reasoning from acceptable premises, leads to a conclusion that seems senseless, logically unacceptable, or self-contradictory. Or a situation, person, or thing that combines contradictory features or qualities. So pretty much two things that like clash, where it's almost impossible for them to happen at the same time. So you got the Pinocchio one where he says, will his nose grow? If it doesn't grow, that means he lied. But then his nose will grow because he lied. But he told the truth that his nose would grow, so it shouldn't grow. So it goes back and forth. And then a man drowning in the fountain of eternal life. If it's the fountain of eternal life, he can't drown. He can't die. So what, he's just going to drown forever? That would be actually a pretty bad fate, honestly. And then what happens when irresistible force meets immovable object? I forgot which wrestling commentator said it. I think he said it when Hulk Hogan took on Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. He said, what happens when the irresistible force meets the immovable object, where an object that can't move but a force that moves everything? What's going to happen? They're going to clash. Someone's got to do something. Either the force is not going to move the thing, even though it's an irresistible force, or the object is going to move, even though it's immovable. And then the ancestor, if you go back in time and you cease to exist, it's if you go back in time to kill your ancestor, it means you don't exist. But it also means that you didn't exist to kill your ancestor. So, there's that. Now, apparently, according to Futurama, it is possible to become your own grandfather. But, and then this last one, you think of someone because someone thought of you first. If I think of someone right now, which I kind of am, and that means they thought of me first. But that means that I thought of them first. But that means they thought of me. You see how it keeps going and everything? So, paradoxes are kind of fun, but they're a little confusing. Now, this next one is This Girl by Nigel Dixie. Oh, nice one, Nigel. Another girl poem. Yeah, that I admit. Okay. Alright. So there's this girl. She's the most beautiful girl in the world. Beautiful from the inside and out. Beautiful eyes that you can get lost in for hours. Lovely hair, flowing like a gentle river. A warm smile that could light up the darkest room and warm the coldest heart. Outer beauty that brings a strong man to his knees, but inner beauty as well, radiating for all to see. A sweet scent and that can make a runny nose stop in place. Just the thought of her could have you daydreaming for hours, in front of everyone, looking like an idiot. But you don't care, because this girl is so beautiful that you have no shame thinking about her all day. I think I wrote this one before I wrote the other one, the Dream Girl one, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is about the same girl. This might just be in general. It probably could be in general. It probably most likely is kind of just gonna be an in general type poem, but Yeah, so when you got a girl on your mind, just like the dream girl, you're constantly thinking of them. They can do no wrong in your eyes. They're like super beautiful to you, and you absolutely love and adore them, all that stuff. So, oh yeah, so we see that again popping up in here. This next one is called Have You Ever? Have you ever seen a beautiful flower, fresh in bloom? Have you ever seen kids running and become suddenly reminiscent of old times? Have you ever seen the complexity in a web and wonder how the spider did it? Have you ever dreamed of the future, unsure of the right answer? Have you ever seen a glorious sunrise or a beautiful sunset? Have you ever been to the beach and see the waves crash on the shore? Have you ever gotten a cold ice cream and then later a brain freeze? Have you ever seen a baby laugh and noticed the joy in their eyes? Have you ever seen a homeless person and wonder if the roles were reversed? Life holds so many wonders and mysteries, so don't get stuck on one of them. And that is true. Life does hold a lot of mysteries, a lot of things to think about, and a lot of things to experience. So you never want to get caught up in just the one, because there's a lot out there. It's a great big world to see. There's a lot of things to do, a lot of things to experience. And so, the question of the poem is like, have you ever done this? Have you ever done that? Have you ever tried this? Have you ever tried that? And don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone sometimes. Now, sometimes a comfort zone is a comfort zone for a reason, and that it's your safe spot. It's where you feel like fine and safe at. But sometimes stepping out of it, it will help you either learn something or do something different, which is kind of cool and kind of an underrated thing if you think about it. So this next one is called The Painter. The painter paints with a purpose. Every brushstroke as important as the last. The painter uses many colors: white, green, blue, red, black, purple, yellow, orange, pink. The painter envisions the painting and paints away day and night. The painter paints with precision. Nothing is out of place, nothing is messed up. Flawlessly painting, for the painter has done this several times before. The painter paints everything in rhythm and rhyme. The pretty sun, the beautiful sky, the lovely grass. The painter paints with love. And he loves his audience, and his audience loves him. So here we see this painter putting his all into this painting, and we see him creating all these wonderful things through his painting and everything, and being able to use his brush to create this beautiful world, all this beautiful stuff. We see a lot of stuff going into this painting and everything, and this painter is very passionate about what he's doing. And it's kind of a lesson that if you're passionate about something, do it, and do it passionately. Do it and put your love and all into it. As you create things, you can create a lot of things. You are capable of a lot. This one is Someone Leans Near, and this one is by Toni Morrison. Someone leans near and sees the salt your eyes have shed. You wait, longing to hear words of reason, love, or play, to lash or lull you toward the hollow day. Silence needs your fear, a crumbled star ash sifting down, clouding the rooms here. You shore up your heart to run, to stay, but no sign or design marks the narrow way. Then on your skin a breath caresses the salt your eyes have shed, and you remember a call clear, so clear, or you will never die again. Once more you know, you will never die again. And remember, that one is Someone Leans Near by Toni Morrison. So this is a pretty interesting poem, and it may seem a bit confusing at first to pick apart, but if you really think about it, I just kind of see some allusions to like God here in this poem. I could be off when I say that, but I see some allusions to him where you're seeing like this person, these things all around you, who all this bad stuff happening, but you still hear the voice of God saying, "You'll never die again. You're still here." And when someone leaves near, of course, the belief is that God is everywhere. He's ever present. So the fact that he's still there, even in the midst of this, is, I think, is the general idea behind this poem, and that's why it's a pretty interesting one to analyze and look at, and it's actually a pretty nice poem as well, of course. But this next one is called 1 Hour in Heaven. If I had 1 hour to take a trip up to heaven, I would love to see you again. I would look for you frantically until I found you. Ooh, I would hug you and tell you how much I've missed you. Ooh, I would talk about what happened while you were gone. I would let you talk about what heaven is like. I would want to hold you for so long and never want to let go. I wish I had 1 hour in heaven so I could see you one last time. There's a lot of people that I'm sure we've loved and lost that we'd want to see one more time if we went to heaven. And how many times have you said, like, if I just had 1 hour in heaven, if I could just see them one last time, I'd love to talk to them and see this person, because we miss them and we hold them in our hearts. And while this one isn't about anyone in particular, this one kind of makes me think of like my grandmother or my grandfather, and wanting to talk to them, tell them everything that's happened and everything, and just wanting to see and interact with them one last time would be awesome. And if heaven had visiting hours, that'd be great to do, so I can see them and talk with them and just be around them one last time, because obviously I love them, they're loved ones and everything. And I'm sure you watching at home have someone in your life that you've lost that you would love to see one last time, to tell them what's going on, just to say you love them and miss them and everything. But this next one is Cutting Greens, and this is by Lucille Clifton. Curling them around, I hold their bodies in obscene embrace, thinking of everything but kinship. Collards and kale strain against each strange other, I should say, away from my kiss-making hand in the iron bed pot. The pot is black, the cutting board is black, my hand, and just for a minute, the greens roll black under the knife, and the kitchen twists dark on its spine, and I taste in my natural appetite, the bond of living things everywhere. So, this one is another pretty interesting one, and what I'm getting from reading this poem is that it seems to be like things are connected, where she's saying like the pot is black, the cutting board is black, and my hand. So, saying like everything is like black, so relating to Lucille Clifton, because she was, of course, African American woman, and when she's cutting the green, she feels herself being connected as she's cutting and everything. So, pretty interesting there, or to say the least, how she's thinking everything but kinship. So, she's not really thinking like friendship or even relationship, but just stuff that's going on. So pretty interesting, but I could be wrong about that, but that's kind of what I'm getting from it. So I'll actually I think I do have time to read this poem. So yeah, I'll go ahead. So this poem is I Love You. This one's by me. So I love you, that's why I lie to you. I love you, that's why I steal from you. I love you, that's why I abuse you. I love you, that's why I despise you. I love you, that's why I cheated on you. I love you, that's why I always call you ugly. I love you, that's why I call you stupid. I love you, that's why you mean nothing to me. I love you, that's why I can't let you leave. I love you, that's why you infuriate me. I love you, that's why I don't let you go anywhere. I love you, that's why your family hates me. I love you, that's why your friends call me abusive. What do they know? They're just jealous. I love you. That's why I stopped you from leaving. I love you. That's why I killed you. You love me. That's why you never left me. You love me. That's why you hoped I would change. You love me. That's why you cared for me. You love me. That's why you're dead. Don't blame me, because remember, I love you. Now, what we see here is kind of a contradiction, and so, obviously the poem is "I love you," and it's repeated several times. But reading this, does this person really love this other person? I'm saying no, and that's why I wrote it this way, where it's like they're saying that they love them, but this is not really this isn't a loving relationship. This is what they think is supposed to be a loving relationship, but it's very controlling, it's very abusive, and sadly there are a lot of people in situations like this where they hang on to this person, they're stuck with this person, and they want them to change. They still want to try to see the best from them, and still try to love them and hang on to them even though they shouldn't, and they don't get away. And it leads to bad things happening. So, if you're in situations like this, I know saying just leave is sadly easier said than done. But if you can leave, please do so. If you can call somebody, please do so, because trust me, hopefully there is someone out there who can help, who will be more than happy to help, and who can get you out of a situation like this. But this last poem that I'm going to read for you guys, this is actually a poem I read a while ago, and it's kind of, so if you notice, archived on my Facebook is a episode 0 of Nigel Dixie's Tales from Labyrinth, and this is the poem I read, and for that, this is a poem I wrote a little while ago. And I'll tell you guys, of course, about it, and I'm rereading it now, of course. It was for Tales from Labyrinth proper. The reason that one was episode 0, it's not like Tales from Labyrinth, not Tales from Labyrinth, Phoenix Rise Radio episode 0, where it's like cut out and everything, although my mic almost did cut out, but it's because that one was just like a poetry reading before the poetry readings became official. It's just something different to do, but now that I have this space to that I dedicated just to reading poetry and everything, and now I'd love to read this poem for you guys again. And but again, this one is called Beautiful Soul, and this is by me. So why not end off with this, kind of where this whole thing began, the whole poetry and everything. But the face of an angel, and a voice so sweet, as her voice echoes through my mind. Apprehension fills my bones as I feel that I'm almost out of time. Beautiful hair, beautiful eyes, beautiful soul, as she majestically moves about. She is the concept of beauty personified. Of that, there's no doubt. Butterflies in my stomach and moths in my head, as beautiful soul has me starstruck. But will she be mine? I'll have to carefully test my luck. Knees trembling like an earthquake is happening as I play this love game. What makes the situation even better? She knows my name. She knows who I am and what I do, and I wait for the day that life will truly start. But despite all of our conversations and situations, she doesn't know all the contents of my heart. I am known for my silver tongue and quick wit, and for not being violent. But when it's time to tell her my feelings, why do I suddenly become silent? They say that love is in the air, and I may have caught a case, but will I walk through the doorway to love, or will the door slam in my face? The weight of my feelings hurt my chest, as I don't know how to reveal my heart. I feel happy when we're together, and lonely when we're apart. I'm in love with her, and my feelings truly are to blame. But there is one crucial question that must be answered. Does she feel the same? Will she tell me that she loved me, and how deep in love she fell? Or will I be renewing my stay for the night at the Heartbreak Hotel? Will she reject my heart and soul, and leave me without bliss? Or will I embrace that tender soul, or beautiful soul, I should say, as we share a tender kiss? So, this one was from a while ago. I think this one actually wrote back in 2019, so this is a couple of years ago, and believe it or not, this is actually not the same girl from the Dream Girl poem and the other poem as well. This was a girl I was interested in at the time. Sadly, it didn't work out, but this poem definitely does show its age. For starters, it rhymes, and a lot of my other poems don't really rhyme anymore, or sometimes they will if they need to, but this one definitely didn't. And this one is filled with a lot of like kind of sappy lovey-dovey type stuff, of like a lot of romance, which I'm not against, but romance to like this level where it's bursting out at like every scene, not always my style, but nevertheless, that's how it was at the time, and I was super into her, which is why it kind of hurt when it didn't pan out. But sometimes that's the lesson, is that you can't always overinvest in a person. Now, it's not like bitterness. I'm not mad at her for the rejection and everything. It's just one of those things that happens. It's nothing I could do about it, and kind of nothing she could do about it. Maybe I don't know, but yeah, it's sort of just one of those things that happens, and yeah, so I wrote that poem about her. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. If you stuck through it to the whole hour, or thank you so much for those who did. But of course, if you want, you can watch a little bit, take a break, watch a little bit, take a break. That's kind of what I do for like long videos and stuff. Thank you all so much for 15 episodes of Tales from the Labyrinth, and thank you all so much for all the love and support you've shown. I'm glad to see that you guys are enjoying this for the most part, and let me know in the comments below what your thoughts were and everything. So for the rest of the week, we do have quite a bit planned. I'm going to be going live later on tonight on Twitch and everything. I'm going to be continuing to stream the Spyro Reignited, so please, if you can, join me for that. And tonight we're going to be tackling the Peacekeeper's world in there. And then on Thursday, I will be reviewing Avengers Endgame, which, believe it or not, actually isn't the end of the Infinity Saga. I mistakenly said a while back that it was, but it's not. Turns out Far From Home is, even though I'm not a huge fan of that. Don't get me wrong, I love Spider-Man, but I feel like Endgame probably should have been the end to the Infinity Saga, but it is not. So the Infinity Saga retrospective probably won't come for another like couple weeks whenever I get around to actually watching Spider-Man Far From Home. But there's that, and System Shock Radio is going to be dropping on Friday, and with this episode 60, I decided to do something different. We are going to be looking at the video game Crash of 1983, so you'll definitely want to tune in for that. But thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.